Do you think AI is ever going to get to a point where it would ever like replace a content writer?
I think it could get to that point, but I just think that the writer just becomes like their role is just different, right? Like you got to be a great prompt writer because, like to your point, in the very beginning, we're writing like really generic prompts, and it would spit something out, and then we would go back and then like for whatever reason, we have to ask like a similar question because the first time we wrote the prompt is really generic, and then we came back and wrote something similar that's generic, and the responses are very similar, and so everyone's going to have like the same response to like that same generic prompt. So we had to get like pretty detailed. So I think it's just like prompt writing, like content writers become prompt writers, and then also get the real world inputs to inform the prompts, and then they're talented prompt writers on top of that. I think that's the future.
My thought on that is I think content writers won't really exist anymore. I don't think it's AI replacing them. Like you said, I think their role changes. I think they become more of an editor, and I think they're going to be required to have like more high-level strategy with what it is that they're trying to produce with AI. Gone will be the days of like low-skilled content writers where they're handed an outline and they're told to use this list of keywords and they have no idea why they're writing what they're writing, right? I think they'll be forced to understand big picture where this one writing task fits into the whole scheme of things with the overarching marketing strategy, right?
And another limitation of AI, and I don't know how AI could get around this. There's probably ways in the future, but when we would ask ChatGPT to write a blog post, we always start with an outline first. We have it spit out the outline, and we basically tell it the topic based on keyword research, and then based on that topic, it gives us an outline with like 6 sections. Very often, ChatGPT would say, like one of the headlines in the outline is like examples of fill in the blank, like whatever topic, or case studies of fill in the blank topic that we put into the prompt. And then we would ask it to do it, and it has like filler, like company A does this, and it's like talking about some random company that doesn't exist, and it's like hallucinating. And so I don't know how AI would ever, like, unless you have to input real world information into it, or maybe you have a case study page that you can feed into the prompt. Maybe that's the solution. But at least right now, ChatGPT is not good at that, and content writers would have to take control of that.
Yeah, I've barely messed around with the new feature that allows ChatGPT to crawl web pages, and I want to say it's only been like active for like a couple of weeks, but that's such a game changer. I mean, think about like being a content strategist and you're trying to rank for, a topic, and you just feed AI, the top 10 results and say, make mine better, right? and I think that's really the silver lining here with what AI is going to do is just going to like propel us forward so much in terms of like how we're improving everything. And if you think about it, Google plays such a big role with that from an SEO perspective, because like their algorithm is designed to make people do better and put out better content over time, right? Imagine with AI behind that, like just how advanced our data and access to information is going to change.
Yeah, and it also makes it like way more competitive, right? Like everyone's pumping out content like crazy. It's harder to rank.
Yeah, in fact, I think Google's actually a little pissed about it because recent algorithm updates are really catering more towards user-generated content because Google doesn't like AI content, and there's tons of controversy about this. And I know my shit when it comes to SEO, so I think it's good that we're chatting about this because I don't get to put my SEO cap on too much on the podcast. But what's your opinion on that? I mean, so many SEOs say different things like, does Google care about AI? And I've always been on the side of like, Google does not like AI because unless Google can't tell it's AI, right? Google doesn't like shortcuts. It's kind of like gaming the algorithm from their perspective.
Me and my team, we've been like researching it quite a bit, and then we find all these articles that says as long as it's high quality content, Google doesn't mind, which is fair. That's great. That sounds good. And then when we publish our AI generated blog posts, it just doesn't have the same effect as like user like generated content. And so we're like, okay, well, like, are we being punished by Google or are we not? We can't really tell because everything we see is like from Google. It's like we don't, as long as it's high quality, and then we'll look at like the top 5 spots for whatever we're trying to rank, and it's like our blog posts have like more in-depth information. It's 2,000 words, internal, external links are, it's like it's got all of it. Maybe those other pages have backlinks associated with them, but for content to content, our stack's higher in our opinion.
The algorithm's moving a little bit away from backlinks, and sorry for anyone listening that's like not appreciating how technical we're getting. We're kind of SEO nerds over here, but links are becoming less and less important, like very gradually. Like quality of content is always going to be king, and I've always said, content and backlinks are always the 2 main drivers of rankings, but you made a key point there, and it's high quality content. And if you know what makes high quality content, and you're actually like developing a content marketing strategy, and you're trying to provide value to your target market based on queries that they're searching for, then you're fine. That's not the point that Google's trying to make, right? It's the fact that if you're going to put out 10,000 blog posts a day just to try to get as much traffic as you can, eventually that's going to hurt you. And it's already happening. I mean, I am involved in so many SEO groups, and people are complaining about these recent algorithm updates. But guess what? If you play SEO by the book and you play by the rules, those should not affect you. Those should actually maybe help you.
In Google, we would do like a search for like tools that can identify AI content. And there's plenty of them. They're not like that advanced or anything. And we would like take our blog posts and drop it in, and like it gives you a percentage rating, the one we found. And it can tell pretty much right away, even if we use Grammarly to like edit some of our work, it's like 20% AI generated. And we're like, oh, we just use Grammarly just to edit some of our work. So I'm sure Google can tell.
I don't want to convey this message to like I'm against using AI, because I'm not at all. I'm against just taking whatever AI gives you and using it. If you're actually looking at it through the lens of a marketer, and you're strategizing, and you're really just like putting the customer at the center of everything that you're doing as opposed to the algorithm, you're fine. I mean, use it as a tool to speed things up and to make you better at what you do. But as far as I'm concerned, SEO has not changed one bit. You can use AI to speed up your job. That's it. If you're using it in the wrong way, eventually an algorithm update's going to come and kill your site. So maybe think about it twice before you get lazy. Don't get lazy.
Yeah, and like there's a million use cases. So maybe with like SEO, it's a little tougher. I think we're still trying to figure that out, how to like have an AI piece of content rank as if it was human written. But like writing social media posts, like I'll write a first draft, and I'll write it really quickly with like grammatical errors, and then just throw that in there, and it spits it out, and it's nice and pretty. And I just put a word cap on it. So there's a million use cases outside of blog posts that it's like wonderful. But with Google specifically, it's a little bit tougher.
Yeah, for sure. And every channel is going to be a little bit different.